What? So Ma is the latest Universal Pictures movie produced by Blumhouse, who are also known for making hits like Get Out, Happy Death Day, Black Klansman, The Purge, Paranormal Activity, and others. And it's directed by Tate Taylor, who also did The Help, and it stars Octavia Spencer as Sue Ann Ellington, Diana Silvers as Maggie Thompson, Juliette Lewis as her mother, Erica Thompson, and Luke Evans as Ben Hawkins. Luke Evans. I'm sorry, what was I talking about again? And so the story follows Diana Silver's character. She's the new girl in town, and she basically makes some new friends amongst a group of kids, and they stand outside a liquor store trying to convince any passing by adult to buy them a case of alcohol. And just about to give up, they come across Octavia Spencer's character, Sue Ann, who seems like the cool lady in town that is willing to buy them alcohol because she was young once. She knows what it's like to want to drink alcohol when she's younger, so she does it. And eventually she decides to invite them, unnoticed by adults, to her place to drink and party in her basement. And everything seems normal at first, like Sue Ann is the cool old lady, to the point that they even start calling her Ma. But things aren't always as they seem, and she starts becoming pretty stalkerish. And some stuff happens. Basically, these kids never learned the lesson, or maybe their parents never told them the lesson of don't talk to strangers, especially don't go to strangers' houses. Octavia Spencer was definitely the one to watch for this movie. Like, without her, this movie falls flat on its face. And I have a feeling that more than likely she really wanted to sink her teeth into a role like this, because more times than not, especially since The Help, she's often relegated to playing the same types of roles like the mammy or the black sassy best friend. And so her performance in this movie definitely left you feeling pretty creeped out and made you wondering, like, what is going on in this woman's head? Like, why is she doing the things that she's doing? And going into a little bit of film history, which I feel like I have to do to really talk about this movie. And like I mentioned the mammy caricature before, and honestly, I feel like this movie is basically a subversion of the mammy type. And if you don't know what the mammy trope is, it's basically one of 5 stereotypical roles that were available to black actors pretty much throughout film history. And essentially those 5 roles are the Uncle Tom, the tragic mulatto, the mammy, the coon, and with D.W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation, the black buck. And for the most part, the mammy was always portrayed as an overweight maternal figure who was basically the housemaid of a white family, and she always would have a smile on her face, and she would be super loyal to her white family. And even though she would always be portrayed as having several kids of her own, she would be very desexualized and would often show disdain towards her own kids while loving the hell out of the white family's children, and would often risk her life to save the white family. And like I said, the mammy character was always smiling and would be boisterous and happy, and it was basically used throughout history as a political weapon to not only show that black women can only be domestic workers, but also to basically show that in order to bring humanity to these black savages, they need to be in roles of servitude. And in case you're probably wondering, like, Michael, I came here for a review of Ma, not a film history lesson. First of all, calm thy tits. But just like I said, I feel like I needed to give that brief history lesson in order to fully review this movie, because again, like I mentioned, this movie was definitely, in my opinion, a subversion of the mammy trope, because you have Octavia Spencer's character who's playing a mammy type figure who is basically just as obsessed with these white kids, her white family, as a mammy would be, but it's definitely flipped on her head, because now she's just as obsessed, but in a very twisted way. And I loved every second of it. And as I mentioned before, like, even though this movie is called Ma, it's not really Octavia Spencer's story. It's really the story of Maggie Thompson. Octavia Spencer's character is really just the selling point of this movie. And while that may annoy some people, because like I mentioned in my Us review, black characters leading horror type movies is very rare. But I didn't have a problem with it, because I feel like with this type of movie, Ma's character essentially played the role of like somebody like Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street is not really about Freddy Krueger, but at the same time, yes it is, because without Freddy Krueger, there is no nightmare. Without Jason, there's nothing to fear at Camp Crystal Lake. And so that's essentially what the character of Ma was to this movie. There's a moment in this movie where I feel like this movie movie jumped from a 10 to a 100 in terms of intensity. And again, I just love this movie. I mean, is it like the greatest piece of filmmaking ever? No. Do I wish they fleshed out Octavia Spencer's character more? Yes. Do I wish they delved more into the obvious racist tones that they kind of portrayed in this movie? Absolutely. But this movie is definitely a guilty pleasure fun ride movie that I would definitely watch again. And the reactions from the audience, that just made this movie even better. I just hope that this movie allows for Octavia Spencer to get other types of roles in the future. And side note, there's also a minor character played by Allison Janney. Hilarious. I would definitely say Ma is a solid hit. Luke Evans, call me. So did you see Ma? Did you enjoy it? What's your favorite Blumhouse Productions movie? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button and give this video a like. It'll really help out the channel. And while you're at it, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and share my videos with your friends, families, and neighbors to help me continue to grow. So long as you continue to watch, I'll keep making videos. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time. Happy Pride Month!